Good morning. Happy Friday. Hi, guys. Happy Friday. How are we doing today? How are you? Thank you for a beautiful stream yesterday. Hi, Itchy. Beautiful seeing you here. How you doing, my friend? Hi, Becca. Thank you for a beautiful stream yesterday. I just ran off. But I got there in time, and it was really fun. For you who don't know what I'm talking about, I went on a all business female event last night, and it was quite interesting, but it was such a good event. I really enjoyed my time. It was beautiful. You're living. I hope that we can provide some peace and joy, Ishi. You need some little bit of a joy. I thought today we were gonna do a large group healing. So I'm thinking we'll see how it goes, but I'm thinking I might do 2 or 3. I'm thinking 2 readings or transferences, and then we'll have this huge or large group healing. I'm thinking. I know there are more than 2 in queue, so I just hope that you can bear with me and that we come to you in next stream. Well, you never know what happens, with my guides. I just follow what they say. I'm also feeling a little bit ill and a little bit tired, so we'll see what happens. But I just really enjoy being here. Gonna go smoke. Yeah, have a smoke. It's okay. You can come back whenever, my friend. It's beautiful seeing you here. So, I went to this event last night, and it was beautiful. And I had the most beautiful, I got to hear the most beautiful explanation of healing that I ever heard. And I think that you guys might have heard this as well, but it was just so beautiful because I sat down at a table and I saw this woman sitting there and I just felt, yep. You can just see an energy worker. You can just tell they're an energy worker when you see them. And we looked at each other like, yep, we know where we're at. And then there were these seminars and these beautiful, people talking about their experiences in the business world and how they got to be and how they grew as a business and as a person. It was really interesting. And then later on in the evening, we got to mingle and to talk to each other. And so I sat with a couple of people who they didn't know Swedish or English that well. So I immediately found, I know this, that I would love for this business to grow so I can also work with interpreters. But for now, we only do in Swedish and English and in the language of love, of course, with the healing. And joy, bubbles of joy, maybe that can be a language. But yeah, so it was a little bit difficult, and so they didn't really understand what I was doing. And so they asked me, I got the question, what is healing? And just when I was trying to, how to explain this in an easy way, this beautiful energy work that we do, how to explain this in an easy way. And just then, this other energy worker that I caught the ion before, she just turned up next to me and said, oh, I have to go, but please have my card and could I have yours? And we will, get to chatting some other time. And so we extended cards, and I just saw on hers, because she had introduced herself as being a life inspirational figure, or a life coach for inspiration. And then so on her card it said shaman. So I just looked at the card and I just said, shaman, hello there. And she said, hello there. And so I asked her, how would you explain healing? And then she gave this beautiful explanation, because we needed to find an easy way to explain this for someone who doesn't work with energy and for someone that there might be some language barriers. A shaman, yeah. So she said to them, to explain, she said, "Do you believe in love?" "Yes," they said. "You can't quite see love, can you?" "No, no." "So what if you could give love through your hands? You can't see it, but it's there." And they went, "Oh, I know." And then they asked me to put down, to write down healing. And so then they could search for it in their language, and they went, "Ah, she's one of them." You know? But it was the most beautiful explanation that I've had, because I've been trying to, because I do get this question sometimes, what is healing? And you go, well, it's a form of healing. It's a form of to help the body heal. And it's easier in English, I just realized now, because healing and healing is very similar and even the same word. But in Swedish, there's another meaning to it, so to speak. So I always go trying to tell that it is like, mending the body through energy, because we all exist of energy. But hearing her explain it in such a way, can you see love? Can you touch it? But it's there. So what if you could give love by just being there? And it was so beautiful. It was the most beautiful explanation. Hi! Oh, hi, Source Code. How you doing? It's probably about to say hi after good lunch with my brother in a moment. Oh, say hi from me, if you feel like it. Beautiful seeing you here, my friends. Hi, Fabian, and hi, Chi. So yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. I love that. But it's so interesting because I found also some people who wanted to come to me as clients. And, I've said I always look for a teacher. I've said to you before. I always look for a tutor, someone who has other experiences in this area than I do, and that could share their experiences with me, but in the form of a tutorship, right? I've come to realize that, how to say this, I would like to say it as, in a little bit of a jokey way, mediums who are in the closet still, or energy workers in the closet, seems to come to me. People who find this being natural and a part of their everyday life, but in some ways or form has been, taught not to deal with it, taught to not to go into it and not work with it because it has not been part of their childhood or their upbringing and the traditional values of their upbringing and the family values. And these people seem to seek me out. And I found that really beautiful. And I found myself through my guides having said to many people this, that, you could come to me. You can learn from me. And I want to be this guide for finding yourself, your ways of working. Because many people come to me and say, you know what, I'm so confused. You've got no scholarship, you got no tutoring behind you, you've done nothing, in the way of studying. And yet here I am, having been to this course and this course and this course, to be a healer, to become a medium, to do all of these things, to find my guides. And many people are saying that they feel they haven't managed to get there. They can't work in the way that they feel I do, or just connect to it. And I think going to on these courses could be really inspiring. But I feel bringing out, and I just speak to myself now because we all work in different ways, of course, but giving you an instruction manual. Okay, this is how you perform a healing. This is how because I heard so many stories of how people so specifically told them what to do, what to put their own mindset in, where to go in their minds and in this to perform these energy works. And I just feel like I would love to be a tutor in not giving you an instruction manual. This is how I work. Not I can share with you how I work with the clusters and how I work with frequency and how I open up and pull and retract and attract. If that is one way you can put it. But I will never say, now learn this. I want to be this inspirational teacher to help you find your way of working with energy. Because energy comes to us in a way that we can interpret, in a way that we can understand. And this is why you can hear from many, I believe, from many different readers if you go for readings, and they will say, they will come to a very similar conclusion, but they will have different ways of getting there, and they will talk from different perspectives because they're human, and because energy and information comes to us in a way that we can understand it. So for some people, names are really a big thing, because they can understand, they can grasp the reality behind a name. For me, I'm not a name medium, if that makes any sense. I don't work with names. I work with memories, with feeling, with specific objects, but depending on who you are, of course, also because it's still an interaction. But energy comes in a way that we can understand it, in the way that we can grasp it. So to hand them an instructional manual and say, this is how you do it, it can be served as an inspiration for people who have not established their way of working or want to find other ways around, definitely. But I've heard people who are so in this, who really wants to be working with it, and they've established their ground, and then they come to a teacher telling them to not do it in that way. And I've experienced this before because I have studied, although I have not been able to continue studying, but I have been to these tutors, and they've said that, yeah, you do it in this particular way. And I said, but for me, I've already established how to gain the access to the information that we're going to try and to receive, and I do it in this way. I love to try your way, and so I try your way, and then I see, okay, I can combine this into the inspiration for going forth in my way that I've established. But many teachers, and also for me, said that no, you can't do it that way. The instruction says in order to be, certified to be able to handle these energies, you will have to do it in this specific way. And I just feel that's not how it works. Is what I feel. Maybe for many people, but also the people I've met wants to find their own way. And it's the same thing with readings. Like with you, Tara, yesterday when I talked about this image of you sitting on a bridge over water. That was how it was, that feeling was resonated within me. But that feeling could carry an entire different picture for you. And this is what I want to talk about. These experiments with the water and with the glass of water, that was something my guide simply asked you to try and see what happens. But I never want to give out an instructional level manual and say this is what you do. But it seems it will be in my fitting mold to help people find their way of working with energy. So it seems people who are closeted energy workers, if that makes any sense, seems to find their way to me. And my ego is a little bit like this, but I'm not certified. I have this feeling of, and I spoke to another person yesterday, another woman who wants to work with this, and she found her way into on the creative side as a hairdresser, and she said that she hasn't been studying, she's self-taught, And being self-taught, we believe that we have to charge less for our services and that we can't really stand up for ourselves. And so for me to say I would love to become a tutor without having ever been taught in that manner, for the ego, that is really, a difficult thing to handle. But my heart really says, hey, you got a tutor, your guides, he's lived before, he's done these things. Listen to him and then learn others. Learn what you've learned. Share it with others, but not as an instruction manual. What I learn is to be open for you to truly explore your way of doing things. So you can be open, transparent, and authentic so that the interaction can feel safe between you and the client. I'm gonna read chat now, sorry. Oh! I apologize. I thought I've said I'm streaming. Alright, I was talking to Pampus before, I'm sorry. People are trying to reach me. There we are. Now it shouldn't. And now it's on silence. Okay, I apologize. Good morning, guys! Did I scare you? I'm gonna read chat now. Source code. Oh, have a beautiful day, my friends. Can you read me? Oh dear. My beautiful friend Dalilo. If you want a reading, you can put exclamation mark joy in chat and you will be put in queue. But today we're gonna work with a group healing, especially. So there are people in queue already, but if you get in queue, you will stay until you get your reading. Or if you leave, of course, you can do so also. But if you feel like, if you want to come back, then we will come to you during another stream. Or if my guide says, you know what, we got something for you right here, right now, I will give it to you. But if you put exclamation mark joy, you will be joining the queue. Finding their methods, yeah. Gertie! Oh, thank you. The same to you, my friend. Even though it's a normal healing, doesn't mean it's one way to go about it. No. It might be the same thing we do if we're talking about the frequencies being electricity. It might be the same thing we actually do in practicality, but what we do in our mind and how we see it for within ourselves will be different depending on what we come from and what we feel comfortable with, is what I believe. Yeah. Your tough love yesterday was really helpful. Thank you, Barry Christ. That means a lot to me. It was. I spoke about this before also. I want to do this, want to do my work, and I hope that you guys can tell. I want to work for your well-being. I do not want to be in this business in order to, be fighting over clients with other people or trying to gain as much money as possible, or these things. Yes, I want to be able to live off it, so I want to be able to provide for my family, but I want to do this genuinely for people's well-being. I do not want to do it just to hold you still being with, to be stuck with me. That's not what I want to do. If not being here is better for you, then I want to say that to you. So, and like I said yesterday, I don't want to perform just healing and all of these things, sessions, in order for you to feel good in the moment. I want you to be able to feel the best you can, always, in every emotion. And the best you can is to be close to every emotion, so that you can be authentic within yourself. And that's what I want to do. Also, another thing that came up yesterday, I'm gonna see what it's called in English. Hang on. There is a word that I've lost in my mind somewhere. I'm just gonna see. Oh, if I can find it. I can't even spell it. Guys, what is it called when different companies or different instances fight to gain a customer? What's that called? Thought you'd be back around 8. Okay. Take care, my friend. Happy Friday, bud! It's like going to somewhere through a GPS. There can be 40 rows, but they all lead to the same destination. Yes. Competition, market share. Oh, market share, maybe. Yeah, so what I said yesterday is that I don't believe in. There's a specific word where companies, maybe it's market share, or when they compete. Okay, so let's say competition. I do not believe in competing for the market share. I can say it like that. I believe in evolving, and I believe in evolving together. So we had a question last night what we thought the different instances around Sweden could do in order to help us as a company to grow. And what I would love to do is to have somewhere, and I don't know how it's like in your different countries, but here in Sweden, and I'm not even sure if this is the case here, but how I experience it is that it is really difficult to find out if there are people within your specific, what you do, energy healers in your area. There are ways of finding out, but because of when I started this company, or when Bembers and I did, I had this blue-eyed hope, that once we got a website, we're online, people can find us. But then people are calling us and saying they've built companies upon having people be able to find us. And so I find, okay, that's beautiful. Only problem is those are hundreds in total or even more, and everyone calling, and you go into, okay, fine, I love this contract, let's do this. Now you can help us to get, for people to have it easier to find us. I love this. And then the other one calls and says, we can't find you. And we go online and say, yeah, it's difficult to find us. And this company says, we'll help you be able to, for the customers to find you. And this company says, we'll help you to, and we just like spending money in order to just exist online. And I understand that this is something that they will, I'm not talking about the specific companies because I myself have a company, right? And I understand the drive behind it. But there are so many that I feel it's almost impossible to actually be out there. And I just feel, and it's so difficult to also, because I don't believe in competition. I believe in evolving, like I said. And when I go on these events, all of a sudden there are a couple of energy workers there from my local area that I didn't know of. And so I would love to have a free option for everyone to see exactly, because these, when you create a company, when you start up a company, you tell, in Sweden, you tell instances of, I am now a company, and they accept you, and so you're in the system for the tax system, right? So those, you can find, who are running companies. That's official. You can't be anonymous in running a company. So this information exists. So I want it to be a free version where everyone can go in and then see just what companies exist around you in what you do in your particular area. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel over and over again. So as energy workers, especially I'm just talking about energy workers because this is my field, right? We sit in our different corners and are struggling. Everyone is struggling. Everyone I'm talking to, we can't get clients to come to us. It's a constant struggle. And there we are, sitting in our different corners, struggling to get out in the market, when thinking we're alone, when if there was only an easy way to see, you know what, we're actually 13 of us in this area, can't we do something together? And I genuinely mean this. I don't want, I know it's bad for business, but what is good for me is good for business, right? And I want to help people for the sake of helping people, not for the sake of competing in the market. So I want to seek out those mediums, those energy workers, those healers around me. I want to have an easy way of finding you so you can find me, so we can do this together. In my mind, this was natural. This was what it was supposed to be. And I was so shocked, honestly, to find out that it's this difficult to even exist on a map. And people who go in to create companies in order to follow their hearts, like me, and who might not want to be spending, you know, all of these resources upon simply existing. We might not even know that this is what we have to do because we're not thinking. And I know it's bad for business, but business or non-business, we're part of the world, and all we want to do is do what we feel is good for us, and in that it is what we feel is good for us is to do things good that's good for other people. And I can't even, and I'm sorry for expressing this in this manner, but I can't believe how profitable, how profit seeking this society has become. In the same way as I can see it being important to embrace change, there must be so many like me sitting in our small offices trying to survive when all we want to do is help people. And I want to find you, and I wanted to create a network with you. And I know there are networks out there as well, because the other part of the problem is people, and I'm going to be frank now, there are energy workers doing this to make a profit. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but there are energy workers not even believing in their own ability or thinking they're the only one with the ability and just want to, scam people. This exists. Because of their reasoning, there's a reason behind everything, and they just want to survive, and in this they are trying to scam people. And so I've reached out to networks, gone on different events and said, oh wow, there's a mediumship network in my local area, hi. And I'm not even interested in discussing how we can work together, and that is really sad, I feel. I'm gonna read chat now. Oh, there's so many people talking. Weekend is standing in front of a door. Yeah. I had resort of pro agenter. Money to Luxus. Yeah. What about building a community with those energy healers? Yeah. Need to walk the dog really quick with a chat. Okay. With relevant thoughts. Try Facebook, look for energy healing groups, see who's out there. Yeah. Definitely. I want to do that. Thank you, Ichi. Pancras, you have another suggestion. What people on network and reaching out to the max number of energy healers around Sweden? Yeah, I want to do that. I do. I want to create this, and I'm going on different events. I have 3 or 4 events coming up where we are around Sweden meeting these people. But I feel some people are not open to open up, and not because they don't want to spread love, but because they are insecure because of how the market looks, I feel. And also because all these certificates and these categories of healing and how you must be approved as a healer. It's a good thing you have to be approved, but people who are doing this, like I said before, we might be working with the exact same thing. Let's say that it's just energy. Nothing but electricity. And since we are built up on electricity, you know this instrument where you, by just touching, be going close to it, it will make these sounds, this radio wave instrument, if you've seen it. I believe maybe healing is the same thing. Maybe that is how we work. And so that might be the exact same thing, but in our minds, we might see it as being different. So we do the same thing, we take the same route, if we talk about what you said, Fabian, I think it was you, but we experience it in our different ways. Yes, I said we experience color in different ways, but we can't know this because we're not talking about how we experience it, because it is natural to us. And so we will think that everyone experiences it in this way, or that the certified way to work with it is seeing it in this way, and that might bring actually a worse outcome, if we're going to talk about good and bad, for people getting certified, because of them being put in a box that's not meant for them. Trying to learn how energy comes as information for another individual and trying to stick to that rather than to actually breathe in being who you are and going from the heart. But it could be I'm saying this because I'm not certified. I don't know. But it's an interesting discussion, I find. Sarah, yes, Tara, do you feel that I'm an energy worker? I keep getting called Reiki. Do I have a feeling if you're an energy worker, Tara? Did you experience what we experienced last time and the one before that? Tara, yes. Through and through. Definitely. But that doesn't mean that you have to work with it. But if you want to, there's beautiful things you could be doing within it. Yes. Building a way for people to find what energy works in their area. Like a website. Yeah, so Bembus and I were discussing creating this website yesterday. And I don't want it to be, you know, because usually there's this website where people can log in and say, hey, this is me, I'm here, and now I exist. Thing is, when you create a company, when you start up, you already are in a system of, you know, tax-paying companies. So you do already exist. So all I want to be able to do is find that list and just read it. I just want people to see that list that already exists. Because being a company, you are not anonymous. You're not it's actually easier to find an individual in their private association or in their private, you know, life in Sweden, where they live, their phone number and all, than it is to find a company. And that, for me, something's gone wrong somewhere. And I know it's very different in other countries, but this is how I experience it. I think that if you can't find anyone that will get you in the door, in the top of whatever job can be, you may need to forge your own path. Yeah, don't mean to sound rude. No, you're not sounding rude at all. I want to forge my own path. I want to be able to help people forge their own paths. It's what I want to do. Definitely. I just love, you know, seeing that. And I know Kepi, I know you know what I'm talking about, and Tara as well. When you see people evolve, and when you can be there and see this happening, you know, in the way that where we stand from a perspective, and to do this with energy workers, for me, it just makes my heart, you know, laugh with joy. Hi, Bud. It might be rough, but with hard work and determination, I see you working your buttocks off. I see you becoming successful. Thank you, Ichi. I believe this too. You know, I say this, it is a mountain we are climbing, but with a very beautiful view. Going the way up. That's how I used to put it. Beyond your wildest dreams. Yeah. We believe in this. Bempus and I, when we started out, you know, we both are energy workers and we both are connected to the archives. And we know this was what we were supposed to do. And I love that. Thank you, Ichi. It means a lot. So I'm thinking, I got that off my chest. I'm thinking I would love to do a couple of energy readings and then do this beautiful group healing. Are you up for that? Kippy, I believe in you as much as I believe in your great work. I pray you have the work you aspire to have. You do great things. I feel so in my heart. It means so much to me. But you know, Kippy, you know when you see the lights in someone's eyes, and when you're there to, you know, someone comes to you. I know you can resonate with this, my friend. An individual comes to you, and also you, Tara, and many others, but you two especially, with helping people off the ground, so to speak. And when you see this individual, being a child or an adult, doesn't matter, we're all children inside, and you can see the spark of light happening because you've said something. That confirmation of that you are enough, and that spark of light saying that they are enough and that they could do wonders. I love that. I live for that. And that is why I have my consultations. I want to spark that joy in people's eyes for what they want to do in life, but also to be able to do this for energy workers. You know, that has my heart jumping. Truly. I'm gonna see what happened to the queuing system, if it works today. And the way to look at it is a mountain to climb. There may be plateaus where it's hard to move upwards, but at the end, when you keep going, you'll reach the top. Yeah. I hope the mountain will never end. Honestly, I hope we'll never reach that top part. I want the journey to be ever going. I love, you know, having that little reason to continue. You know, that little wanting change that I spoke about before. I love that. You know, to kick our butts a little. Come on, we can do this, you know? I love it. So rather than reaching the top, I want to come to these plateaus and be able to turn around and see the view right there where we are. And then I want to keep on climbing. That's what I aspire to do. It won't take 1 year or 5, it could take 20 plus, of course. Yeah, I am, you know what? I am ready for it to take my entire life and for people taking over when I'm gone and then something happening, you know? But to just lay the groundwork in the way that we're doing, I just love being part of that process, truly. Sarah sharing with you. Yesterday I went to nature, write down everything I want with life and a decision about it. Yeah, I ended up writing down 4 pages. Yes! Ah! And it felt so liberating to the point I got home very relaxed. Pega, I'm so thrilled to hear that. I'm so glad for you. So happy for you. 4 pages, I love that. You finally found that peace within yourself to have the outlet, you know, to just let it out. I love it. I think this is a way for you to do it even more times. You know, I think this is a way for you to write it all down and to just meet it as it is there on the paper. I love it. I love it. Okay, it seems I still can't see who's here and on. Another thing I noticed when I'm writing, I feel like I'm disconnected from everything. I think that is important. You know, I'm talking about compartmentalizing our brains. And I think that when we can do that, I think in your case, Panga Grace, I think this is just beautiful. I think it is you in a relaxed state. And that little child coming through, that little, you know, that fire. I think it's the flame. When you disconnect in that way and write it all down, I think it's your flame. I mean that. There's no noise on the silence. I'm able to hear an inner voice. Yeah. That makes me so happy. So glad for you. That brings me peace knowing that, Paga. I think it's your inner flame. I do. That just brought me so much warmth. Thank you for letting us know. So I'm gonna check, because it seems it's still not working, seeing who's here or not. So, Christian, are you here today? Because I think you might not be. Then we have, after Christian, we got Lady Luna, and I think she might be sleeping. Let me check. Yeah, okay. And after Lady Luna, we've got O'Berry. Are you here today, O'Berry? Because I don't think people who are in queue are here today, actually. Ah, there you are, Luna. Okay, we bring you back up. Hang on. It's your turn then. Hi, how are you, my friends? Did I want something? I'm in the kitchen right now, so now I probably have to take. No, what happened was I was looking through from earlier, from yesterday, who was in queue, and I just said that I think Lady Luna was sleeping, and so I just toggled her as being offline, and then she shows up. Yeah, no, it's okay, my friend. You want a fantastic weekend doing all the relaxing things? Yeah. Synchronicity, yeah, definitely. So I'm thinking, Luna, are you ready for your reading, for your transference today? It's gonna be a very light one today because I'm not feeling so upbeat. So we're gonna do a very light reading, very light transference, and I'm gonna do it for you. And then we're gonna see if there is someone else who might want a transference, and then we're going into the beautiful group healing, I'm thinking. Oh, Issy! Hi! So would you be ready for your transference, Luna? Okay. I'm just gonna provide some healing for myself. I'm just gonna put myself in a sense of relaxation. Okay. Lady Luna, let's do this. It works! Let's see. Okay. I want to talk about fears today. Luna, by the way, because you are a very beautiful and very appreciated streamer, is it okay if I go? I know that you will say, yeah, go and sleep, but you have to. But I just want to put it out there. Is it okay if I'm being 100% honest and open? Or would you like me to try to be somewhat general? I know that you're gonna say, oh, come on, lay it on me. But I just want to reassure or to make sure that you feel safe in this environment. You're okay, okay. Because I want to talk about fears today with you. I talked to you before about, how you and I were one of those, or we're two of those people who we want to be as open and transparent as possible as is ever possible for us to be. And it's important for us to say that also, to be, to really stand for people being themselves. But then we've got this inner room that we'd rather just shut the door on, And so today I actually want to talk about, and this is why if it's too much, just let me know. We're still human, pretty every person, but it could help someone else, yeah. Many can resonate with this feeling of, not trusting ourselves. I want to start off when you do a reading, and when you go, it's like you go into this and you have this beautiful direct connect to the Akashic libraries, if we talk about that, or the energy. You find the frequency and this world on this side where you can draw information, because your cards and your runes, and I heard you talk about this before, but I know I can really feel they are tools. You get your information through, really, you have this open channel directly into the world of frequencies. It's almost like traveling to another dimension, but I truly see that as being more prompt. We are a little bit different in that. I see you for, you open this door and this golden color of sunshine and frequency comes through. And I see that being on one side of it. If you were to sit down to really go, because I know meditation is really important, but if you would really go into this room, this gold laced sunshine, and be there as you're trying to be with your painting, if you allow yourself to really open this door and really go in and be in there, you could never go wrong, Luna. And I'm not saying, of course, we should have responsibility and openness and listen to others. You already have this. But it's important for you to understand, because you have on the other side, and I resonate with this so much, the self-doubt. And it's almost like it's always sitting in your throat, you know, the tears of, am I enough? And this beautiful, wonderful world that you found with these beautiful golden frequencies of life, you know, that you really connect to. I mean, you're a fairy of light. You come from this world. But you have the self doubt. You don't have the doubt of this existing, but you doubt yourself being the right channeler. Am I enough to carry all this beautiful world? Can I really channel this beauty through my little body? You know, this self-doubt, am I enough to do this? Because what you found, what you see, I can see why you're painting. I can see why you're doing this, and that is beautiful. It's taking a lot of hella work for you to, you know, find yourself being comfortable in what you do, and you still don't feel quite comfortable. But I can see you're trying to slowly to have other objects around you collect that energy, so that you don't have to bear the entire burden of sharing it with others. And not the burden of it being a burden, but you feeling it becoming a burden within you for your energy to change it. You're afraid of your negative thoughts or your self-doubt to change the way that this energy is, the energy frequency that it's in. And so you're afraid of almost, and I'm being frank and honest now, it feels like you're afraid of dirtying that, of smudging that frequency when it's having traveled through your body. And I resonate with this. I resonate with this 100%. And because you're feeling like you have been lying to yourself, not in who you are, but in accepting who you are, you always try to find other pieces, other ways to form your reality out in the world. And can I just hang on? Bagel Boss? You know it's Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve. If we're talking about sexuality, please stay, because I love to talk about this with you. Sexuality is something that is so prompt in my life. I would love to see your point on it. So please stay if you feel like it, Bagel Boss. I would love to have that discussion. There are many people here who would also like to shine in on it. So please stay if you feel like it, because I would love to see it from your point of view. I would love to talk about it. We only had sons, so explain that one. Oh, that's interesting. Dampus can't hear me talking, so he can just read chat. Please stay. Okay, so sorry, Lady Luna. I know this is something that you reacted to as well, Luna, because this is why we're so open, people. We want to be open. But the thing is, we see ourselves as being open somewhere in the future. We see ourselves being able to find our higher selves somewhere in the future. And it's always been somewhere in the future, you know? But it is right now. And you try to let yourself know and try to feel, you know, you're being yourself right now by going the long way around, by using other objects, by using other mediums to portray tiny bits of your actual understanding. I can understand this 100%, Luna. When we see the world of frequency, when we see the fifth dimension, if we talk about it like that, and when the world just becomes this network, it is so difficult to fit that into the understanding or to the rightfulness of it being held by one single individual, as in being yourself. It is also okay. I want to say it like this: trust yourself. Everyone has their ups and downs. Everyone has been through different things. Everyone feels dirty in their own way. You are a channel, an interaction, a channel for interaction, and there's a reason you've been chosen to do this. For you open up to it. Everyone can do it. I know that. But you open up to it with your heart. What I want to do with my company is going away from this being a magical thing that some people have the gift of doing and just see it as a profession. And maybe this will help you too. Everyone can do it, but it just suits some people better than others, like with any other profession. You are special. You are a fairy of light, but you're also human. I don't want you to use your mediums in a way of showing tiny spots of sparkle from your actual knowing, from your actual understanding. I want your mediums, your beautiful paintings, your beautiful deck of cards and your runes and this beautiful craft that you do. I want that to be made from joy in your soul rather than trying to find that joy in your soul. Does that make any sense? I want you to trust. I want you to trust that world that you are connected to. There's a reason that you have this channel, you know? And that smudging you feel that you do is just adding perspective. Many mediums talk about how we are just a channel and how we should be. I know it's always there. I've just been healing and being honest. Yeah. No, I know that. But it feels like you're giving parts of yourself rather than daring to show your whole self. And many people do. And I know that many mediums say that we are just a channel. What I think is so important to talk about is how it is an interaction. We interact with the energy. It's an interaction between you, the client, the person you're talking to, and the energy coming through. Your smudging the energy just brings perspective. They are connected to this energy as much as you are. But traveling through you just brings another perspective, which is so valuable. You can't bring it forth in the pure way that it is over here, because it is as pure when it is you, it is as pure when it is the other individual, but we experience it in different ways. Information comes to us in a way that we can understand it. It just brings more perspective. Don't hold back. There's no reason for you to hold back. I know you're protecting yourself. But you already do that in doing what you love. You're already protecting yourself in standing up for who you are. Don't be afraid of showing dirt into a pure energy, because it's impossible to do that. We are that energy, and that energy is us. We are all connected, is what I believe. And so we all take from the energy. And dirt is not, we're not what you experienced, and your thoughts and feelings, they could be there for a reason. And this interaction with the energy is for a reason. People trust me, I don't want to be wrong and misdirect them. No, I understand that. But you don't. You don't misdirect them. People trust you for a reason. So trust yourself. If it turns out that that resonates, maybe you come to inspire, with some inspiration instead. Just another perspective on how to look at things. Usually why we're feeling stuck within ourselves has to do with our thoughts and feelings feeling like taboo. Like what we are experiencing is somewhat of a taboo and we can't talk about it with people. The more perspective we get, the less hurt it brings with a taboo, the less we can, the less of taboo it becomes, because it shouldn't be. There's so many people that are experiencing similar things, or the exact same emotions, but for different things, in different situations. So the more inspiration and the more perspective you can give, the more it opens up both for the humanity in you and the genuinity and the transference. So what they are talking about, Luna, your karma in this life, I think you've heard many times, about these people who've lived so many lives trying to work with healing and energy and being burned so many times. And some people talk about how this life is now our life to come out of the closet, and to be accepted for who we are. The karma in your life, I believe, is to really take that step, to push on through and to push through. And you have had so many hindrances in your life that has not had to do with energy transferences and energy work, but you've gone through so much and you've said no with love to so much. They're talking about obsessions, they're talking about addictions, they're talking about of getting stuck. They're talking about people choosing paths where they're so closed off minded, and you have been able to say no with love. And it has taken a lot from you. It's taking a lot of you to do this. But you've done this in so many aspects of your life. So why not do the same with the same strength when it comes to energy work? Say no to feeling restrained. Say no to feeling that you're just simply smudging up a pure energy, because you're not. You're part of that pure energy. And you bringing it forth only gives perspective. So what they're talking about is that we don't want, we love it, but we no longer need to see those small splodges of who you are. We love it when you share it, but you deserve to show even more of yourself. what you know, what knowledge you have attained, and what understanding you have of the universe. I know you are super scared of sharing because you might be wrong. You're not wrong. It is no matter if it is true or not in practicality in the physical world, it is your experience. And your experience can never be wrong. Every truth is a truth. And to be quite frank and honest with you, Luna, I know that you thought about sharing this, and I know with your paintings, you're trying to put forth what you've found, what you've come up to understand, but in small doses. We want the entirety. It's time. We want you to write it down. We want you to share it, to talk about this door that you've opened within yourself. Honestly feel like a newbie who has experienced little. That's so not true. You've only distanced yourself to what you've experienced. So much has been going on, and you have so much hanging over your shoulders, and so many feelings of regret. And could I've made this in a better way so that I could have helped this person, this individual? Could I have been a better friend? Could I have been a better daughter? Could I have been maybe not daughter in this sense, but could I have been a better granddaughter? Could I have been a better, all these titles could I have been better? And so always this strength of could I have been a better Luna? No, you can't, because this is you, and we want your honest, and we just want to share this well with you. And we want you to share your world with us in a way that you feel safe with. But you're trying to put these small sprinkles of who you are for us to notice. It is time. We want the whole spread. And this is not saying that we don't want what you're doing. No, that's not it. I want you to continue with exactly what you're doing, but I want you to continue with it knowing, using it, your materials from your heart, and not in a way of trying to find your heart, because it's already there. And I know you're still looking, but everyone is. We're all looking. So look at the different perspectives. And when smudging the clear energy, you bring perspective, and you are that clear energy, so you're not smudging nothing. There's a reason it goes through you. There's a reason you say what you say. It's the reason why people react the way they do. Believe in that. Honestly feeling very disconnected recently, but I'm still trusting you. And the reason why you're feeling disconnected is because the more people listening to you, the more possible regrets you give yourself to go through in your head. Should I have done this? Should I have done that? And it's not about specific things you say, it's more about the emotion behind it, because you are questioning your own intentions. I love you for who you are, not for who you're trying to be. Who you're trying to be, a part of that. And I love also that part. But I love you for who is behind that. Who feels like you're smudging up everything, because god damn it, you haven't had anyone to listen to you. You haven't had anyone actually, to actually share all the things, the effing things that you've gone through. You just had to tear it, you just had to bear it, and to take it in, and to deal with it yourself. So of course that also lies in when giving people readings and advice. If people haven't listened to you before, How can you put forth a voice now? And when people haven't been interested in your voice, why should that voice smudge that pure energy that is so pure and beautiful? You know, we're all mirrors of one another. That means this energy, as your energy, are also a mirroring effect of you. So when you see this pure, beautiful energy, that means you're also seeing that within yourself. And so many times you see these beautiful individuals and you just sit back and wonder, why can't they see how beautiful they are? They're a mirror. I would like for you to have someone to truly talk to. You think everyone is so pretty. See, that means you find yourself pretty, my friend. Deep inside, we resonate to what resonates with us in others. But you had to go through so much, and you had no one to talk about it with. And then you expect yourself to be able to have people, you wish people to accept you in giving small doses of yourself in what you do, and get that confirmation of that you are enough. I want you to be able to talk to someone and really talk, so that you can feel safe and secure when that people love you for who you are. And we appreciate those small doses of you. We appreciate those sprinkles. They're beautiful. But I want you to feel you are beautiful in your whole, in the whole of you. So I want to bring you someone who you can talk to. I want you to have a friend, Luna, who really listens. You shouldn't have to carry all this stuff around that you do. You should hold it in hand, see this being part of you, and have that give you strength. But we all need to share our load sometimes. And you've not been given that opportunity, I feel. And so you want to heal and help people, and you also want to get something back in just love. But if ever people could actually listen to you, and you're trying to tell your story in the small hints that you give, you're trying to tell your story in your art, in your crafts, you're trying to tell your story in the little things that you do. But I want you to truly share that story, and I want you to feel safe in doing so. I just want to give you a hug, and I would like to sit down and just listen for you for hours. And I would just like you to throw everything out that you're holding back inside. You shouldn't have to bear this alone. And so while you are questioning your ability or your connection to the purity, there's so much about pure energy with you, my friend. All energy is pure in its own way, and you are energy. But I can understand that it becomes too much because of you having so much you've not been able to deal with within yourself. So much that you just wanted to have someone just, it's not like you're not looking for someone to feel sorry for you. You're looking for someone to just be there, to give their time to you as you are giving yours to so many others. I hope that if you would like to sit down with me and just talk about everything, I would love to do that. Or if you would like to find someone else, I would love for you to do that. But I can feel in your energy that you're so insecure where you will find this individual because you've been looking. So if you would like us to sit down and for me to just be quiet and listen to you, I would love to do that. You are looking for yourself just as everyone is, but you are looking for yourself in someone else seeing you. You just want a friend. I would like to sit down, you and I would like to sit down over a video chat, and I would just like to listen to everything that you have to say. Nothing held back. I just want to hear the crap so you can get it off your chest. And you know when people feel comfort in you and you feel like you can help them, even though you feel insecure in what you give them back, know that that is how I feel. I'm not taking it, I'm not gonna feel bad for what you say. I truly just want to put up a trash can for you and for you to just shout everything in there. Love it, yeah. I think many of us can resonate in it, bearing so much within ourselves, and usually many energy workers or many people who have been having to take responsibility in a very early age for their own life, being whether situational or emotional, just having to bear so much, growing up so fast, we do tend to become energy workers, or many of us. And so I understand that many people can resonate. And hey, I would like to create this, I would love to have a conference call when people can just shout things out, about what the crap has been going on that you can't talk to anyone about because no one will understand and no one will listen. The thing is, there are people out there who will do both. So first off, for you, Luna, if you would like to sit down with me, I would love to do that. And I would like to just sit and listen to you. You give so much of yourself to others. And I know that you feel people are giving back too. But I really just want to hear the crap. I do. I've always kind of known that this is just part of what I was supposed to handle and deal with. Can you send me a little message on Discord and we'll find a time. And I would like to do this just as another human being. I would like to sit, just you and I would like to just hear the bullshit. I mean, and it's not bullshit because it's part of everything I know about, but all these things that we can't talk about because no one would listen. The trash can, I want to put it out. So that is what I want to talk to you about today, Luna. So I want us to continue this, just you and I. Would that be okay? Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Send me a hoot on Discord and we'll find a time that is suitable for the both of us. And I would like to start this process with you. To find the joy and the heart in what you're doing. And to really see the beautiful energy that you're spreading and sharing. Coming to your stream was like coming home, Luna, and I know many feel that way. And like I said, our very stressed cat just calmed down. He lay in my lap and just cuddled to your stream. There's a reason for this. There's a reason people are telling you this. That is not smudge energy. That is energy, pure energy coming through you with every color that it takes to be human. Okay, so send me a hoot on Discord and I want us to continue the process there. Okay? With love, my friend. Truly. Being the parent in a child and parent situation is something that I resonate with. And many people do. And it really forms us. You know, we're talking about how childhood we should let that go when we become adults. But it's in our patterns, it's in our understanding of the world, you know? Mm. Yeah. Okay, we continue on Discord, Luna. Let's do this. I want to place that trash can for you to just put it all in. Okay. So that is all I'm gonna do today, Luna, and we'll continue. Okay? You're beyond ready. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. We'll find a place and a space where it suits us both. Guys! It works! Bempus fixed the queuing list. I can see who's here or not. That is beautiful. Thank you. I love this. I'm so thrilled. Ah! Okay. So Izzy, it says that you're here. Would you like a very brief reading, Izzy? Because I'm feeling in my head, I need a little brief one today. Would that be okay, my friend? We love you, Luna. And not for who you are trying to be, but who you are. But you are a fairy of light. You do know this, right? But you're also human, and you deserve to be human. Are you here, Izzy? Lash lies now, or a fun. Oh, I see. Are you ready for your reading, my friend? Out of fun here. Bubbles of joy, my friend. Izzy, you know that you have every right to be here, just as anybody else, right? Because I feel you're a very shy individual, and it's okay. I'm going into your reading, Izzy. And it's gonna be a very brief one, like I said. And with brief, I'm not talking about how long, but what we talk about. I talked about with you before about people not understanding you, right? And I've talked today about when we feel we're being the adults. With you, and with all honesty and with love, my friend, I want to talk about this when we feel like everyone treating us as a child, but in a way that we are younger than who we are, what we are. Always tiptoeing around us, having us feel like we have to be stood on the outskirts, on the outside, looking in. And not knowing how and where to find our voice. And people have been doing this out of love, but I feel in some cases it's okay to feel you've been mistreated. But I know that this stems from within you, and of course it does. But what I want to give you today is the confirmation of that people see you. I see you. And I'm not talking about, becoming shy and, wanting to shield off and you don't want to share, everything that you do. I'm not talking about that kind of seeing you to put you into responsibility slots. I'm talking about who you are, or that you are. Because it feels like you are in the background so very much and so often. And people are being very gentle and very careful with you. But then when you are looking into it, and yet let me know if you don't resonate, but I've had this feeling like people being different when they're talking to you than when they're talking amongst themselves. So they will be so careful around you and talking to you, and then when they go back into their group and you're standing on the outside, they can act in a more direct and just being them kind of way, And I feel this feeling of, why can't they be that with me? And you bring that upon yourself in feeling there's something about me that makes other people don't daring to be themselves around me. and trying to, work out how to handle me when I am just me. I'm here always. I'm always here. I'm always in the room. I'm always, But it feels like people don't. There's something about me that makes other people uncomfortable. And that has me be stood here on the outside. And where does that bring me in life? You have such a beautiful mind. I know you don't want to hear that, but truly, Izzy, you care so much. And you have so many thoughts on so many subjects because you're an observer. You have so much knowledge. And I know sometimes it feels like it's so much that just goes blank and you feel like you don't know anything, and it's just, you're becoming dizzy with this dissociation. But when you are alone, and since you're alone so much, you observe so much, and it might not be that you reflect on it this instance. You have this way that information seems to be gathering up a little, and then it comes little by little at a later stage. But when that comes, I think that is a beautiful way of the brain to work, because you can really put those small details of information of what you've seen, and you can make sense of it, so that it might take longer for you to register, but when you come to the conclusion, you have a beautiful whole picture of it. It's almost like time is slowing down a bit, and it feels like you want to work faster. You want your brain to work faster. You want you to be faster so that you can follow what the others do. But the things you come up with, they are missing out on so much. And I feel you don't know this. And I'm not saying they're missing out on so much and you know more. I'm saying the things that you see, they see other things, but that also means that you see other things. So you don't see less. Depending on perspective, sometimes you see more. But you also experience it in other ways. So it's very important for me to say that you're not there more or less than anyone else. And you don't know more or less than anyone else. But some aspects of it, you perceive information that might not register for others. And you do this because of how you take it more slowly. And so you put it in a way that you then understand it in a whole other way. This is beautiful. You should be proud of this, Izzy. With this comes so many possibilities. You might feel yourself being slower and not as fast as everyone else or people around you. Does that not mean that your life goes by slower or faster, or that you're missing out? But you experience things and you put it in your memory. You can really draw back. You have this way of sorting your memories. So you could have this beautiful, easy way to find certain details in memories that might get lost to others. And they might focus on something else. But you have this way of being able, because it processes slowly for you, it also stays longer. And I find that to be absolutely beautiful. But I can also see how that coming in conflict with when trying to talk to others, or when others are trying to talk to you, in a way that you see it in a different way. And I feel you enjoy observing, even though you feel very lonely. You still enjoy observing, and you enjoy drawing back. And I feel the creative side of you, you should explore that even more. Because you have such a beautiful eye for detail. I mean, putting that down in working with watercolors, they're talking about, or pencils. But to put down those beautiful details, yeah, they're talking about working with color. You know, that could be clay as well, but very colorful things. You are such a beautiful artist. Because of your eye for detail, you could really do something with this in order for you to feel more secure in yourself. I want you to show your art to the people around you, your crafts. There's so much that you do that you don't show others, and you have you have a talent for colors, Izzy. I want you to share that, because that might help people who are around you, who you love and who loves you, to understand a little bit your way of thinking. Talking about blue butterflies, I see, and this might be something else for you, but I see you drawing with pencils. I see these very light blue butterfly shapes, creatures. There's so much to you, whether it being art or maybe it meaning something else, but there's so much that you do. You have such a beautiful creative side. I would love you to show that to the people who love you, because you're not one of those people who need everyone to love you. You just want the close few, and you have them, and they want to see more of you, Izzy. And this way of thinking, this way of perceiving, you are so talented in what you do. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying it being a responsibility for you to do something with it, because you already do, because it's your life. But I want to talk about how the people around you love you, and they want to see you. You have so much that you're shy to show, because of how you're a way of surviving, right? I would love to see this work out. I would like to hear your thoughts on paper, because that is a way for you to express yourself in a way that makes sense for you. I would love for the people who loves you to see that. So with this, I want to show you that I see you, Izzy, and you just your way of thinking, your way of perceiving that you feel so shy about. That brings inspiration to me to actually calm down and to see the world. And for you to then put down to paper with your arts. It's such a beautiful process. And I really want you to do this. And you don't have to be shy in showing it to the people who love you, who you feel safe with. Okay? And yes, definitely do watch Luna's stream. Because no matter what I said to you today, Luna, about you showing pieces of yourself and not the entirety of you, you're still sparkling those beautiful artworks. Where it's such a beautiful, it's always with you, it comes to this pure energy. But you truly spark with energy, with inspiration. And you two also have the common thing of liking these light colors, you know, and being a little bit afraid of them as well, because they're so fragile, just like you see yourself as being. It is just so beautiful. And also the shapes and the things that you like to do, especially with butterflies, even though it feels Izzy, your butterflies are more, it feels more being angels in a sort of way, maybe. But these shapes are like hearts, but wings, you know. I feel you would really enjoy Luna's stream, yeah. And I think it would bring much to both of you to come together in the way of simply sharing inspiration. And with that, I do not mean you have to share your art. I mean just being there and seeing someone else. And when you feel ready, then you can share. Because the world would love to see it. But for you, it's important to have a small group of people around you. So start there. Okay? Izzy, how do you feel? You okay? Does this feel okay for you? This is what I have for you today. And then please do join our group healing if you feel like it. I am just gonna go off for a little short break, and then we will do an extended, beautiful group healing. I just want to hear from you, Izzy. How are you doing? If it feels okay. Tara, do you think she's okay? Do you think all is well? Okay, I see. Thank you. Beautiful. That is what I have for you today, my friend. And if you feel like This is an amazing girl. Her mother's been trying to set her up an art studio, so a lot that you said resonated with me for her. Beautiful. Take that chance, my friend. Truly. And don't feel like you are obliged to do something, you know, because you have this, sometimes it feels like having to do something. This should come from your heart. And I know it does. So do it in your at your pace. Because I feel this having an art studio and all, it might feel like, oh, now I have to perform in a certain way. It's not that. It's love for you to do this at your own pace. Okay. So, my beautiful friends, just remember how she can pain and not be bothered at all. No, I understand. But no matter, when people are doing something in order to give you, sometimes it can be as if, and I understand that you didn't mean an art studio in another building, you know this, but sometimes when people give you things, it feels like you then have to perform in a certain way. And I just want to say that this is for your, this is by love, with love, for you to work at your own pace. Is what I mean. Okay, so it's going to be magical. I'm excited for her. I've seen some of her work and she's good. But there's even more that you haven't seen, Tara. And little by little, I hope that you can find yourself to open up, my friends. So, I'm gonna head off for a short little break to get some air to my head, I think, to have some breath, taking some breaths, because I'm getting very dizzy. And then I will return and we will do an extended, long, beautiful group healing. Okay? It will just take a couple of minutes. Then we just go for a bathroom break and then we just open the door to the outside world and just breathe in some air. And then I will be back. Okay. I'm thinking maybe we could keep it being in the office actually. I really like this flame. So I'm gonna leave with you actually some healing energy on screen. I'm gonna bring up all the rainbow today. Ah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Isn't this one beautiful as well? I really enjoy it. I really love it. And I'm thinking I'm gonna pull this up to full screen. I'm not gonna go to the scene of the break. I'm gonna have this in full screen and then just let it run with some beautiful music. And I'll be right back. Okay. So let's do it like this. We're gonna pull up. There, beautiful. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry. Oh, hang on. And no. So several people with headaches, huh? I'm feeling. We're gonna go celebrate. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna put the music down. Sorry. We're gonna go celebrate Bempe's mother this weekend, but I'm feeling maybe it would be better to send some positive energy from bed. I met with the receptionist just outside and in the corridor. Oh, at the reception, sorry. And she described her headache feeling like her head feeling like a boiled vegetable. And I'm feeling a little bit the same. Yeah, I realized with the music. So, I've been talking to my guides because some people say that you shouldn't provide healing if you're not feeling too well yourself. I have this when doing distance healing. There seems to be of course, some come through, but it seems to be I have someone. It's the same within the system. I want the mediums asking about my twin and about our telepathic communication, and people have been saying that, yeah, but it's not a direct channel. It is, it goes through a third party. And I feel it's the same with providing healing energy. It feels like it goes through a sorting system of some sort so that the positive energy for one person goes to that individual, while another one might want another type of healing energy, another light, if we talk about Reiki, another color, and so it goes to that individual. I'm hoping it's the way. So so if you feel like it, I would definitely like to do a group healing now. An extended, beautiful group healing. I think it would be beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna open up the... I'm gonna talk about a portal today. I usually don't do this. Luna, are you talking about portals? Who's talking about portals? No, not me. Okay, someone is talking about portals. Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna pull the energy. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna work with the different colors today. And I said before I left for the break, I said that I also work with the colors of the rainbow today. And so we're just gonna bring them up. Ah, beautiful. Okay, and we're gonna create this whirlwind of beautiful energy. So whoever wants to join, you're painting at a portal. Alright. It's a magical stick. It is an ordinary stick that I feel drawn to, and so I use as a healing wand. Yeah. Okay. Just gonna hold the mortal. Beautiful. So, whoever wants to join, just sit down, or lie down, or stand, and just breathe in and out. And just, when I say flame, the word flame, I want you to find that space within you that resonates with that word. It's just this calm way of being, just where you can be you. You know, this little room you can open and it's just you inside. And if it helps, we can use the flame as, for me, I work with fire. But since we're in the office, I can't work with an open flame. So this is a little representation of a flame. And so for me, I used to breathe and just focus on that flame. Whatever it be for you, it could be something soaring in the wind. Just find that little piece and we focus on it. And I'm just going to tell you now what happens before we go into it. And we focus on it. And we focus until that flame or that bird or that feather or that grass straw is the only thing or is in our main focus. So that we can feel how it sways, how it moves, how it feels. So when you're ready, position yourself in a comfortable way that feels open to you for your breathing to move easily in and out and throughout your body and mind. I want you to close your eyes or keep them open. If you keep them open, find something to focus your glance upon. A little object, maybe a little bit of dog hair on that chair. Whatever it may be, find something to focus your glance upon. And if you close your eyes, I want you for your inner eye, picture your flame. It could be a dancing flame moving on top of a candle. It could be a soaring feather moving easily through the air. Maybe it's a moving grass straw on a golden field, or perhaps a green field. Maybe it is that little leaf on that tree in the clearing in the woods. Whatever your flame is, I want you to, for your inner self, picture this flame and focus your attention upon it. What does it look like? How does it move? What feeling does it bring out inside of you? Do you feel a sense of scent? Is it triggering memories? What feeling does it give you? And when something comes up, whatever it is, however harsh, however easy, however fun, however sad, however beautiful, whatever comes up, meet it, greet it, thank it, and let it go. Focus on your flame and meet and greet and thank and let go of whatever comes in that space your mind. Try to focus on the movement of the feeling of the being of your flame. Beautiful. I want you now to picture your breathing moving with the movement of your flame. Your breathing and the flame becoming one. Breathe slowly in and out and see the movement of your flame. Breathe with you in and out. If you're focusing upon the flame that might move in a different way, imagine the feeling of it being the same, moving with you as you breathe in and out. Beautiful. Continue to breathe. Continue to be with your flame. I'm slowly gonna start this whirlwind. One by one, I will invite you to come join in the healing room, in the space between us. When you feel whatever you feel, just move with it. And I'm gonna come in one by one, and I will invite you to this space. Yes, continue to breathe in and out as I find your frequency and bring you inside the room for the healing energy in the space between us. Just breathe in and out. Beautiful. And you, just come with if you feel like it. Breathe in and out and just follow what feels right to you. Beautiful. Continue to breathe with your flame. And I'm collecting the energy, and very soon I will let the beautiful swirling whirlwind of healing energy move around the room in our healing space. Here it comes. You may feel the sensation of a little wind whisking by. You may not feel nothing at all, or something very different. Whatever you feel is your way of experience, and it's just as it should be. However much, however little, just breathe in and out with your flame. Beautiful. Okay. For some of you, there are angels joining. Some of you, there are guides. We have some who've passed over, is here to join us. Just let whatever feels right be what it is. And as always, if something comes up, whatever that may be, meet it, greet it, thank it, and let it go. Focusing back on the flame. I'm gonna start slowly with our feet, working with crystal healing light to bring some warmth and joy and healing to the soles of our left foot. Embracing the little toes, moving under the foot, bringing in healing light of energy. Tickle a little. Moving to our heel, bringing that little comfort of a blanket, tucking our feet in a little foot, and moving to the top of the foot and our left foot, bringing some beautiful warmth, holding the blanket around the little toes. Some of you got very cold toes. It's okay. We're bringing a little warmth to bear. Activating sun. Beautiful. Now moving over the top of our foot. Let's put in that blanket of warmth and comfort. Putting some warmth just where the shin meets the foot. Because someone who has sprained ankle is just gonna put some beautiful warmth there. Beautiful. Moving over to the right foot, right hand side foot. Starting with the toes on the beautiful. Underneath the toes. Beautiful warmth here today we're working with. Moving down the underside, the sole of our foot. So many people have emotions. I can resonate with having emotions put in our right hand feet. We're just gonna put the little blanket also here. Moving to the heel. Someone is wearing shoes they do not feel comfortable in. I just wanted to put it out there. Just feeling that beautiful blanket and warmth and comfort. Moving to the other side, the top side of our right hand foot, starting with the little toes. Gonna stay here for a little while. Have someone who needs a lot of healing here. Beautiful. Pulling the blanket over with warmth and comfort. Moving over the top of our foot, pulling the blanket with warmth and comfort. Up the ankle somewhat. Beautiful. Now on the right hand side, I will continue up the leg, up the shin, slowly, rolling that beautiful golden thread of healing with the blanket. Moving it closer to the knee. We're doing all sides simultaneously. The whole bottom part of the leg. And pull in the blanket with love and comfort. We're moving to the left hand side's ankle. Moving up the shin and the leg. On the left hand sides, pull in the golden threads and blanket with love and comfort. And lots of warmth. We continue on the left hand side with the left knee, wrapping it with the golden threads and blankets. Gonna stay here for a little while, over the knee. And whatever comes up, as always, meet it, greet it, thank it, and let it go. Beautiful. Moving over to the right hand side, the right hand side knee. Pulling that beautiful blanket and golden threads up for love and comfort. Beautiful. We continue up the thigh on the right hand side. See, someone has an old scar here. Slowly bringing love and joy and warmth up the thigh on the right hand side, bringing the blanket and the golden threads with love and comfort. Beautiful. And up a little bit on our outside, not too high up. Bringing the blanket with, moving over to the left hand side thigh, with love and comfort. Moving up, bringing the love in the blanket with. Beautiful. Now we're gonna work with our genitals and the backside, slowly with the inner organs of our genitals and the butt cheeks and the intestines, just bringing love and warmth all the way out to our sides. Bringing the little golden threads of joy and blanket of love and comfort with. Moving up our tummy, up towards our lungs and chest, and the whole forefront of our body, up towards closer to our neck, beautiful. Bring in the blanket with and the golden thread. Now moving to the back side, starting down below by the butt cheeks and moving upwards, slowly building upwards with healing energy, bringing the blanket of love and comfort and the golden threads with just underneath the shoulder blades. I'm gonna stop here for a little while and just help balance some out. Beautiful. And up the shoulder blades and the shoulders, bringing the blankets and the golden threads with. Now moving to the right hand side up and slowly drawing the blankets from the shoulder, slowly downwards towards the elbow. We meet the elbow, taking the blanket and the golden threads with as we breathe in and out, and we're moving further down along the arm of our right hand side. I'm gonna stop here for a little while. Have someone with tension in their underarm. Beautiful. Moving to our wrist. Very slowly out to the underside of our hand. Bringing the blankets and the golden threads with. Slowly moving underneath And now the fingers and thumb. Pulling the blanket over, going on top of the right hand side hand, on the fingers, moving slowly over the hands, and back towards the wrists. And I'm just gonna pull from the wrist, beautiful energy, all the way out to the fingertips. Doing the same on the other side, as we simply breathe in and out. On our left hand side, going from the shoulder, slowly working away down the upper arm of our left hand side. Coming down to the elbow. I'm gonna stop here for a little bit. See if I can help stretching this up a bit. There. Whatever comes, meet it, greet it, thank it, and let it go. As you continue to breathe in and out, moving down towards the wrists. I'm gonna stop here. We got something on the overarm or on the overside of the underarm. Okay. There. Just breathe in and out as we move slowly towards the wrist on the left hand side. And slowly we move, taking the blanket and golden thread with to the other side of our left hand. Slowly moving, bringing the blanket with. I'm gonna stop here by the underside of the knuckles. I'm just gonna put a little bit of help with the flow there. Going to the thumb. Beautiful. And continuing moving forwards towards the fingers and the fingertips on the underside of our left hand, bringing the blanket of comfort and golden threads of joy with, bringing the blanket up over the fingers and continuing on the oversides of our left hands, traveling down the fingers. Just gonna stop. There's a nail here on the fingertip of a ring finger. Just gonna help. There. Okay. A little process. And we just continue down the left hand. Beautiful. I'm gonna stop by the thumb and put a little bit of extra love there. There, okay. And moving again back towards the wrist. And then I'm gonna do like I did with the right hand. Just gonna pull beautiful energy all the way out the fingertips. Okay. Beautiful. Now we're coming up to the neck and the communication center. And I'm gonna put some extra warmth here. Slowly start the process for self-belief and love. And we slowly pull in the blanket up towards the shin. Beautiful. I'm gonna go move around, go to the back side and work on the neck just from above the shoulder blades and the spine. Slowly gonna work the spine up towards the heads. Bring in the blanket with love and joy and the golden threads. Beautiful. I'm coming back around and I'm just gonna cup the head. Slowly bringing the warmth and love up the yaws and chin towards the nose and the cheeks, up towards the eyes and the nose bridge. There's many headaches right now with the cold coming in, so I'm just gonna put some extra healing light there. I have on the right hand side, I have an eyebrow. I'm just gonna put a little extra tension too. Beautiful. To help the flow. Coming up to the temples and your foreheads. Slowly putting that beautiful blanket of warmth and comfort. Beautiful. Now moving to the back, continuing up the back side of our heads, slowly moving upwards. I'm gonna stop a little. We're moving to the right hand side ear and just slowly putting a little bit of love and comfort with a blanket and golden threads coming with. Moving to the left side here, doing the same, drawing the blankets and the golden threads with love and warmth. I'm taking both ears and I'm just gonna balance slowly. Beautiful. Now continuing moving upwards the heads on the back sides, up towards the top of our heads. Beautiful. Coming down on the sides by the temples. I'm just gonna put some extra attention on the space just above our foreheads. Beautiful. Now I'm coming to go take some beautiful healing energy for the third eye. Very, very slowly and very gently. Just pushing some beautiful joy in the space between and a little bit up over your eyes. Beautiful. Now bringing the blankets all the way over our heads. bringing the golden thread with. If you can, I would like you to put your palms, if you can move your hands, facing upwards. And I just want you to breathe. Continue to breathe in and out. And I will slowly let that beautiful, colorful energy swirl around you as we are embraced in the blankets of love and joy. So just continue to breathe in and out. And I'm gonna put a little bubble of joy in each of your palms. Slowly starting with your left hand palm. Moving to the right hand palm. And slowly letting them integrate with you. Beautiful. I'm slowly gonna pull down the blanket now. Slowly moving over your eyes, down your nose, down your mouth, over your shoulders, down your torso, down your belly, over your groin, down your thighs, over your knees, your shins, down to your feet and your toes. And I'm slowly just gonna activate your aura with love and joy all the way around. Beautiful. And I'm slowly gonna let the beautiful energy work its way around to slowly fade out. And still focusing on your flame. When you're ready, I want you to take a deep breath and put your left hand over your chest, your right hand over your left. Breathe in and out, feeling the beautiful energy swirl inside and out, connecting you with the roots underneath and the golden threads above. And we breathe in and out. Continue to breathe. And I'm just gonna send some sparkles of bubbles of joy. And when you feel ready, you can take a deep breath in, inhale, hold it a little bit, feel that beautiful joy inside. And as you exhale, you may open your eyes and come back to here and now. you guys feeling? Thank you for letting me bring you that. If you want to stay with your flame, you may do so. This that you've been feeling is a space within yourself that is always there. And picturing your flame is a way for you to find your way back to really be in that space where you can be you. Thank you for letting me do that. That was a beautiful group healing. A little bit of a different one. A little bit of a shorter and an extended at the same time. A shorter extended version. How are you feeling, my friends? Have a great afternoon, Fabian. Thank you for being here. Take care. Beautiful weekend. I feel like you're ready for a nap. Yeah. I can understand that. Today was really about bringing that calm in. To start that process of love for ourselves. To start that process of calmness in who we are. I usually want to activate the aura and tickle the feet a little to also activate us. But today I felt it was really important to really bring the calm in. So if you have the possibility and if you feel like it, I would suggest yes, to sleep a little. But I hope with this to bring some peace and some joy and some calmness and warmth. There's loads of warmth working with you, Lady Luna. I usually work with, like I said, with this brisk, with a cold. That is beautiful for me. With you, with your energy, it's usually, or usually I shouldn't say, because we just met one another, but it really is warmth. And I hope that I could share that warmth with you today. So thank you truly for letting me give you that. You're a furnace, but still cold. No, I know. Balancing your diet would be a good idea as well, no? Yeah, no, I know. I understand you, my friend. There we are. I'm just fixing the list. That was beautiful. I really I love doing this, you know? And I'm sorry if it was a little bit fast paced, but I felt it was just what was needed today. I would guess that the person talking about sexuality before would not be still here. I really missed out on that. We focused on the important parts, yeah. No, it's about loving ourselves for who we are, truly. And I hope this to start this process of, you know, just feeling the entirety of us being us. you know. Oh, I'm sorry, Pega. It was a beautiful group healing. Your dog duties. Yeah, but that's the type of healing as well, right? But I'm feeling maybe we should do group healings on Fridays. What do you reckon? Sam is telling her I'm so quick. Yeah. We were working with the flame. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe that is what we should do on Fridays, you know? Group healings and meditations. I would love that. So, someone came in before and were saying that it's Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve, right? Sexualities, I feel it's such an important part of my life. You would enjoy that, yeah. I would too. So I'm glad you would. Were you able to join us today, Poet? And how are you feeling? I think also, even if we don't join, just being there with your energy, I think we could find you anyway, you know? Yeah, you've been ever really quiet. How are you feeling? How was the healing for you, Poet? If you feel like sharing, you definitely don't have to. So yeah, sexuality is a very important part of my life. It's really interesting to talk about. Because I use that tag now. You realize this is the first time you haven't been still in a cough. Oh, for over a week. Oh, I'm so happy to hear, my friends. That brings me so much warmth. You know, not just the warmth of working with Lady Luna, but truly, it means so much that we can do. You know, that we can provide something, that we can share this love for the world and for ourselves in humanity, right? No, but Luna, I love it. It really, there's comfort in that, I feel. A flame bubble, yeah. Next painting. Oh, I would love to see that. Yes. Oh, that would be so beautiful. I can just picture. Oh, ooh. You know, Lady Luna, I was a little bit, because I am so insecure on myself as well. So I can I resonate with a lot that you experience. And when I came into your stream, I was almost a little bit upset. The ego in me was, because you are what I want to become, what I want to do. You know, you do what I want to do. There's an artist in me that really wants to come out in both me and my twin. And I want to have this cozy studio environment, you know, and all of that. So a little bit of me was like, oh, now I can't do it because she's doing it. She's doing it so well and it's so beautiful. And then when you also then started to, you know, to help us, to give us subscribers and help this channel grow in the way that you do. And I feel, what should I do? You know, I want to give back so much. And so I'm really looking forward to being able to talk to you. But I can say that the ego in me went, oh yeah, was just doing it so well, now I can't. But I know that we're all individuals, of course. But you give me so much inspiration to open up about what is inside of me. And I truly mean that. You think you already made one? Really? I would love to see that. No, but truly, I really felt that. And it's interesting because me and my twin, we're both very creative people who are very self-doubting in that area. And when we do what we do is actually quite interesting. We've been painting together as well, which is really an interesting experience. But we both are very much into the abstract part of painting, which means that people don't usually show too much appreciation on what we do, and so we don't show appreciation towards ourselves, and then we stop doing it in a way. But there's an artist in me that really wants to come out, and I'm just so scared. So you, being who you are, truly gives me inspiration. And I opened up and talked about Lali and Lalisha Moon, which is parts of me that I have been so shy about. But you being you, and you just this energy, truly gave me that inspiration to move on forward. So as we're hoping to be able to stream from home when we get a proper internet connection, I'm hoping to be able to sculpt here, with you, and I'm hoping to be able to paint and to do all these things because it's something that I really want to do and that I need to do, but that is really, yeah. Sculpting, Luna goes. Yeah, we had time in the community or here on stream where we would do small figurines in glass pearls. I know they come up a lot, but I want to show you, Luna, if it's okay. I'm just gonna go get them. And I just found myself in this situation where, oh, sorry, you can hear a lot of stuff going on. Where I found myself doubting everything I did. I thought it was being too slow paced and not interesting to watch. And then, you know how it goes. And I would love to be able to show also the creative side of me. So I want to show you what we did. I know that people have seen this a lot, but I want to show them. I want to bring out the Pokemon. I always tell people to lurk and do their thing. Yeah. Okay, let's see. This is a little Pokemon. Oh, can you see him? It's difficult to have it. Hang on. Let it focus. Oh, I'm so not good at covering the screen. Let's do it like this. Oh, doesn't want to focus. Oh, dear. I'm not good with this. There. You can kind of see him. That's really adorable, I think. Come on. Let's see. Let's try the other camera. It's so angled though. Oh. You can kind of see him. That is who he is anyway. That's a little Pocky. And then we have this little doggy that we are wrapping in a little comforter. Oh, this is a little doggy. Cute. But like you can see, I abandon projects because I feel it's not good enough. You know the feeling, right? This is the little doggy. I think he's so adorable, and he's got his little paw out here. Maybe a bit hard to see, but yeah. The figurines are what were first drew me to the stream. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not doing them anymore, but I want to go back to it, but I'm a little bit scared. But if you really enjoy it, I would love to continue, because I got pals, I got glass beads. I have the confidence to make art while people are watching. I just thought I was ballsy to declare, yep, I'm going to make something and let's see what it ends up being. Yeah. But I love this. This was the first one we did. And I love this little Pokemon. I think it's so cute. But I don't really have the confidence to do so anymore, I feel. But I really want to. I really want to. So maybe it's something we can come back to. I just thought it was a little bit, you know, because it takes so much time. I thought it maybe not be too interesting to watch. You know, I went into that thinking. So, anyway. I want to talk about sexuality. Because I'm gonna think about this with the figurines, definitely. But I have now got that tag, the LGBTQIA+ tag. And I saw, I think it was Kalina who used it. And I've seen it on some other streams. And I was very hesitant in using it because, just like with finding, you know, other energy workers, I find it to be natural. And I find it to be not something that we would have to bring up as being something special, because it's so special that it is natural, you know. It doesn't matter the gender or sex or, you know, orientation of the person we love. We love them for who they are. And so me using that tag was something that's... Dude, I take forever to paint. Sometimes I never even get a chance to touch it. Yeah. And maybe it's okay then. Maybe I should get back into it. Hey. But yeah, that was, you know, I just felt like it should be natural. We shouldn't have to declare what sexuality we are or what we see ourselves as being, because love is just love. So I was very hesitant in using that tag. At the same time, that made me think that tells more of where I stand. Maybe I am a little bit scared about it, you know, because I feel hesitant in just using the tag. So I went into this mindset, or like this starting to think from different perspectives on what it would mean for me. And so it's always been a tough thing. This cup of water I still have from yesterday, should I keep it or reuse it? Oh, you can reuse it, my friends. You can do what it feels right to you. I feel like you're one of those people who would like to take a cup of water and to create this beautiful flame with it, and then place it on the windowsill and let it be there over the day, and then rinse it and take another one, you know, at some points, some ways, you know, some days. Sometimes that's how I feel. But follow your intuition and what your heart is telling you. I'm thinking, Can virginity be cured? Virginity is not a disease, and so, I mean, you can have sex if that is your question. I'm not afraid of talk about these things, so I'm just gonna say it as it is. I'm going to put it back in the window with the spiders. Yeah, I'm thinking, doing this sometimes because you create this beautiful energy flow, especially when you drink from it as well. I just see this. I think that then placing it on the windowsill, it will, it will continue to fill the room with this beautiful energy that is there always, but it's a way for you to also connect to it, I feel. Maybe, but it's how you feel. Didn't know it was an illness. No. In that case, I would recommend a doctor. A Twitch stream is not the best of urgent matters. It's interesting. Everything can be a tool, definitely. I think when we work with energy, and I wanted to talk about this also, no matter if we're using a deck of cards, if you're using pendles, if you're using, runes, stones, crystals, what I think that it's all about focus. So I think that we can find that space within ourselves by focusing. And so the tools that we use, and this is just how I see it, the tools that we use are then what we feel comfortable in looking at in order to focus. So I think we do the same, we just get help from different objects in order to find that focus and that calm room within ourselves. That's how I look at it. So with sexuality and with this, because it's always been a very present part of my life, because I'm in a system and where we've been a boy or a male for a longer time than we've been a woman, so to speak. When I was born, I saw myself as being a boy, which had me then later in life, I know I talked about this before, but I questioned whether I wanted to, if I was transsexual, But then I realized I love being a woman. And it's not that I want to be a man, it's that sometimes I am a man, but I'm also a woman. And so I looked into the terms of gender fluids. And that made sense, but also when I could see this other individual in the mirror made more sense for me also. Then it being the ideal or a system or this twin or something else, it doesn't really matter, but it made sense for me, I would say. But it's always been a part of my life, and so growing up and I got into this time period where I would consider myself, I am bisexual, and I would start to consider myself being bisexual. But when that thought came into the mind of maybe being, homosexual, I would see that as me being attracted to men. If I was attracted to a man, that would make me homosexual, was in my headspace at the time. Until the day I realized that I am a woman. So it was very, confusing for me in that sense. And we shouldn't have to put labels on anything, but this was what I experienced. And so colliding with my twin in the way that we did, going back 3 years from 3 years back, I really got into this sense of what am I, when I were to be, when I was bowling, for example, I had a really difficult time when using the toilets because I would be stood in front of those signs, the male signs and the female sign, and I had to rethink and think again what door to enter. And I saw this in my twin as well. And that it was becoming, increasingly difficult to know who we were because we didn't know how to handle everything coming in. All of a sudden you have an entire different life in your head to handle or to get a grasp of, and it's taken many years to try to understand, to compartmentalize it, to store it, and we're still not finished. Of course, it's an ever long journey because of, when it's just you also, you still have this library where you still have to categorize and compartmentalize your ideas and feelings of reality and your memories and your fantasies and your paranoias, and all of those things all have to come into way for you to understand. And when facing another life on top of this, in this way, then that really took some time to get used to. And so I was very confused for some time, a long time. And also today I can be a bit confused, but I still know, for me, I found a way to make sense of it. But seeing someone else in the mirror can be scary. But it made sense to me. And this was something that I was afraid to talk to anyone about, this feeling of, am I transsexual? Have I always wanted to be a boy? Because it's nothing wrong with that. But then to be in this headspace where, no, I actually want to be a woman because I love being a woman. It's just that sometimes I really do know or feel I know how it is to be a man because I am a man, And so it was quite an interesting journey for me, but it makes sense to me now. And I starting to really, to see the possibilities with it, and I feel privileged in, having these experiences. And that's how I feel. But it really been a journey. And then when I was small, I grew up with the thought of, okay, so I had this, honestly now, I had this understanding when I was a kid that boys would be playing with boys and girls would be playing with girls. If a boy and a girl were to be playmates, they would have to be a couple, romantically involved in the way that you were at this age. And that was it. So when I fell in love with my best friend, I said, who was then also a girl, I would tell my teachers that we are so close that if I were to be a boy, we would be a couple. That was how I phrased it. And what is interesting for me now is that no one reacted on this, or no one talked to me about it. Adults kind of took a step back, But that was how I would phrase it. And then, oh, hi, Itchy. Oh, it's okay. How are you doing? Welcome back. And then when I got older and started dating guys, I would, and I'm still very young at this age, I'm just gonna say, but I was in all of this, wanting to fall in love and having crushes, and I was all in this. Because it was something that made sense to me, that seems to be something that other people did, because the other parts of my childhood were things that I couldn't quite comprehend. And so this made sense to me. This made me feel normal, being out, having crushes, and always being in love with someone. But every time I had a boyfriend, so to speak, I would ask him, what would you do if it turned out that I was a man or a boy? And I would ask this to the individual, and us being so young and at this age and this stage and so on, the reaction weren't that good, and so we made it into a laughing matter. But I continued to ask this over and over, and then I met Bembers, and I asked him the same, and he said I would still stay. And that was quite interesting for me. But I had this overwhelming fear as well. I'm sorry, you're getting my life story now, but I hope this can help someone out there. I had this overwhelming fear when I was little because I didn't know how babies were made. And I was so open to spirituality from a very young age, and I didn't really go out. So I knew that I was gonna, experience a pregnancy quite early in life. I just had that feeling. I just knew it. And so when I was small, I was very scared of using common toilets or shared toilets because I thought that if I accidentally sat in someone else's urine, I would get pregnant. And I was so scared of this. And I didn't know, I couldn't talk to anyone about it, and no one would talk to me about it because obviously I wouldn't bring up the issue. But I was so scared, and so I wished only to be a boy so I didn't have to have this overwhelming fear of getting pregnant. And so this was with me. And it got to the point where I was afraid, even when I was home, to just sit on a toilet seat because I was so ready to know that I was going to get pregnant. And this was even before my periods. This was even before I could get pregnant, so to speak. But I was so afraid that if there were someone else's urine, somewhere, I could get pregnant. So this was what was running in my head, and so I wished to be a boy in order to not have to deal with this. Was a part of me. And then when I started to work with tarot cards at the age of 14, they told me that I was going to get pregnant the year I was going to turn 18. So the summer, I was born in the winter. So in the summer of the year of me turning 18, I was going to get pregnant, and then I was probably going to lose the child. And so I was told this at the age of 14. And I had known this, I had this overwhelming fear ever since I was a child. I don't know what it came from. Maybe I heard it, someone speak about what, might happen. My mother lost a pregnancy before I was born. So maybe I've heard someone talk about that or something. I just had this fear, and then I had the confirmation of this is gonna happen. And I even had the first few letters of the individual who was gonna be the father of this child. And I only knew one person who I was so in love with, because I was in love with everyone, who happened to be my second or my third cousin. He was the only one who had these initials or these first few letters in his name. So I just thought, okay, so I'm gonna get pregnant by him by the age of 17. But this was such a, you can talk about how thinking about this made it happen. Because I was so in this that this was the way it was gonna go, that every time someone, that I went into a romantic encounter with anyone, I would say that I'm gonna get pregnant. And this was actually one of the first times when we were talking about my twin. I knew that he was always, I knew I had an energy with me. And it was someone who was a little bit older than me, and it was a male figure, but I didn't know who he was. If it was someone who had passed, or if it was a guide, or who he was. I had no idea. But then he showed himself to me as a silhouette. I've spoken about this before, somewhere around the age of 13 or so. But then, the first time I really thought I was pregnant, and this was way before I was, or maybe I was 16 by the time. Yeah, I would have been 16. I was so ready to get pregnant and lose the child that I was certain that already I was, although they had said that this would happen the summer before me turning 18. And I remember I was going to school, and I know I shared this story before, but I really want to share it again. It can't be told too many times. I was going to school, and I just, ever since I was a small child, when I sat on that toilet seat, I've had that feeling, okay, if I'm getting pregnant, that is what happens. You know, there's nothing I can do about it. Then there's a meaning to it, you know, with it. And I will just push on through. It's what's going to happen. And so I was going to school, and it just dawned on me, okay, so I'm pregnant. And then I could feel my twin. I could feel this energy coming up to me, next to me, holding my hands. And he has said, we'll get through this together. And it was such a beautiful experience. And he made me, that was one of those times when he really, I still couldn't see who he was, but he really made his energy clear to me, you know, that he was there. Other times I know that he's for certain has helped me through a lot. Or it has helped me having him there. But he's never been, you know, that in my our shared space in that way. Just a couple of times, and this was one of them. That time it turned out I was not pregnant, but I told my parents, or my parents at the time, that I might be, and they, a long story short, I moved in with my best friend. And they said I could come back if it turned out I was not pregnant. And as it did, because it was not the time, I got back. But that had me knowing also what will happen the time it actually happens, you know, when I actually fall pregnant, I'm gonna get thrown out. So I just knew that this was gonna happen. And at the same time, with this, it is something that, you know, you still can control it. You can choose not to have sex. So I would tell my parents, or my parents at the time, I would tell them that, you know I'm gonna get pregnant. And so they got me these pills, and I reacted to them. I felt it was really, I couldn't, I couldn't keep them in my body. And they said, oh, it's just because you decided to get pregnant. And there's a truth to that, I guess. But at the same time, I just knew it was gonna happen. And when it did happen, it was the summer of when I was gonna turn 18. And it was with someone with those few letters in their name, but it was not my third cousin. It was my now fiance. And we did lose the pregnancy. And we did have to leave. Or we left on our own accord. And then the mother, my mother at the time, would come to meet us at the hospital, actually, and ask for our forgiveness. So that was really nice. That was really kind of her. And then when we had to go through this abortion because I was too ill to carry a child. You know, when we went to have the first check, they had the doctor, or the nurse had several doctors come into the room, and everyone looked at the monitor, and no one would talk to us about what was going on. And so I asked if the child was okay, and they said that, yeah, they're okay, but you're not. And so I would not have survived going through that pregnancy. So we had just decided on keeping the child, on keeping her. And then we were told we would have to leave that life, you know. And all this entire, you know, experience, because I knew I was gonna get pregnant, and I know, if we're gonna be frank, I know even just before we decided to have sex that one time, I knew that this is it. And afterwards I threw up, and I know that this was it. And then I started to have these really bad urine infections, or what's it called? And we went to the doctors, and I knew I was pregnant, but they didn't tell me that. They just said I needed, you know, they gave me a couple of, no, they didn't do anything. They said, oh, you can have some headache pills, or, you know, some pills to help you feel better, and then this is just stress. And then I had 2-3 months later find out that I was both pregnant and I had a big cyst. Is that what it's called? That was taking up space. So that is why I couldn't have survived the pregnancy, because it was taking up too much space of my innes for the child to develop properly. Yeah, but he didn't tell us that because he was stressed out, of course. And he just felt the tummy and said, oh, it seems okay, it's just stress. So anyway, that was an experience. And then when it turned out that I was indeed pregnant, I didn't get to meet my now fiance, Bambus. We didn't have to, my then parents said that he couldn't see me. And then I had to go through the abortion, and they were actually there. My then mother was there when I woke up, and that meant a lot to me. And then things could have gone better in, you know, supporting me afterwards, but they did the best they could, I guess. But I want to tell you, it was so beautiful. Our daughter should have been born around the same time as our princess's child was born. In this time, Princess of Sweden. And so my then mother knew about this. That was when she was supposed to have been born. And so when the news hit that this new princess was born, and it was all over the news, she would actually come up to me and sit by my bed, and she reached out her hands, my then mother, and just sat there with me. So that was very beautiful, even though they couldn't quite fathom the emotion behind it, or they couldn't really handle it because of what they'd gone through. It was very beautiful, actually. So, yeah. So it could be the fear of this happening that made me feel I want to be a boy, but it was also always with me that, you know, I really felt like I was the other sex. But it could be that I wanted to run away from all of this, you know. Life finds a way. Yeah, it does. Definitely. Oh, and I can tell you, when I went to Terry Evans to get to meet him, beautiful meet him from the UK, and I got to meet him, and we did his meditation, and we are to walk up this mountain in the meditation and to stand on top of it. And I then found myself holding my daughter in one hand and my mother in my other. And in that moment, I just felt so complete and I felt so filled with warmth. And when I told him this, he told me that one day you're gonna sit on telly and tell stories. And here I am on Twitch. I would never have thought that this was what was gonna happen, but he said that to me. So, no, it was beautiful. Thank you, Tara. so are you. But it was so, I felt so whole. I felt so complete. And I saw my daughter, I saw her as being, I saw her being actually somewhat older than I was when I lost my mother. But I could see that energy, and it was so beautiful. Yeah. But yes, so my twin was there supporting, but didn't really come through. We collided 3 years ago now. And then this entire life, other life than mine, just boom. I entered both libraries and it became one. Didn't even know what Twitch was. No, neither did I. But he said I was gonna sit on TV, so I think it's quite, this is the future TV, right? Yeah. Another streamer brought me here from Facebook. Oh, really? Yeah. So I hope that this story can help someone out there who might be watching this sometime in the future. And I hope that can, that can help a little. But I remember, if we go back to this with different genders and the different sex and so, I remember this when people would laugh at me when I said that. What would happen? What would you do if it turns out that I was a boy? And people would start laughing. I would always leave the room saying that I would have to use the toilet or something. And I think that a lot more things happened within me than what I showed and what I could actually feel also in the moments. It really surprises me how, despite those circumstances, you manage to overcome them and you're truly happy by being who you are and doing what you love. Yeah, well, it's just life. And like I said before, talk about perspectives. This just has brought me perspectives, on things. But to be truly honest, and I want to share this as well, because we should talk about how we feel, right? This with our daughter. What really hit afterwards was when my brother in that family had a child, and he was an adult, and he's 10 years older, and he was ready for it, and they waited for their grandchild, and it was beautiful when she was born. But they would immediately, talk about how they were going to get a crib and how they were going to, have her come there and how everything was going to work out, and was so happy to get this crib, And when I was pregnant, probably because I was still a teenager, but they said we will have no children in the house whatsoever. And so even today, I have a bit of a tough time when it comes to my siblings introducing new children into the home, because I still feel, and I think I said this before, but I want to share this story also. It's story time today. I'm sorry, it's story time. I know you can relate, Luna, and that was what I felt when I saw you on Kalina's stream, and I just felt this with the pregnancy was something that really you wanted to shine a light on. But I want to share also this, these matters where you can laugh or cry. I never felt like I was privileged to get to live with my aunt and auntie. My aunt and auntie, my uncle and auntie, sorry. My aunt and auntie? Some people do, but I live with my aunt and uncle. And I was so privileged in being able to come back from being in the system, to be able to come back into my family, because they're also my godparents. And so my cousins became my siblings, right? But I always felt like I didn't fit in. I always felt like I intuitively felt like there was something off. And I thought it could have been because of my uncle losing his sister and then taking care of me and not being able to grieve in that process or something. I didn't know what to think. But then when my sister got married, um, a couple of, what was it, half a year ago now or something, and I think maybe I've shared this already, but I'm gonna say it anyway because in matters where you can laugh or cry, we should laugh. But sometimes crying is beautiful as well. But I just put my foot down and I said, you know what? I'm an adult now, and I have to say, spending time with family really is difficult for me because I feel I'm not part of this family and never has been. And I said that to my mother and to my brother first, and then and he just said, say to your sister and your mother that you will be okay and they can let you go and they just want to know that you're okay. And so I spoke with them, and then I spoke with my mother and just said this, that I just want you to know, and it's not about ruining the occasion, I just want you to know that this takes a lot of energy for me to be here, and I'm not sure how we're going to do in the future. So I just want to say that I've always felt like I'm not part of the family. And she then says to me that is correct. She had never considered herself being my mum. Reason being, I had such a wonderful mum, and she could never take her place. My mother passed when I was 6 years old. So she couldn't take that place, and she couldn't fit into that role because she didn't feel she had the ability to. And then she would say that, yeah, but sometimes, because I have two cousins who are now my siblings, they would say that sometimes I got two children, and sometimes I got three, and sometimes I got an extra one. It doesn't really matter to me, she said. The thing is, I only got this family. It means a hell of a lot to me, and I could really feel that she didn't take it. I wasn't part of the family, but I was still considered part of it in some way. And so when she said she never seen herself being my mother because I already had such an adorable mother, she hadn't taught me everything I needed to know when I was 6 years old. I needed someone to be there also after the age of 6. And for me, it's so important to be part of something. But what I find interesting and quite funny, when we can laugh instead of cry, is that they also can't believe what we're working with. They don't even want to hear. We said, oh, can we tell you how it's going with us, with our company? No, we don't want to know, but good luck. Because they don't believe in energy work, they don't believe in all we do, and so they think it's weird and they don't understand why we're doing it. And I find it quite interesting and quite funny that she would say that, and I don't mean to put that on someone out on the internet, because she's a lovely person, a lovely individual as well. But in this instance, oh, Bumpus is here now. But in this instance, I have a story time today. I find it quite funny that she would ask me, how can I work with this? Talking to spirits, at the same time saying, I can never be your mom because you already have a beautiful mom who's a spirit, right? So I find that quite interesting. Why do you think I work with what I work with, I just thought it was something funny. Hi, Ryan. How are you doing? Yeah. So, story time, guys. Yeah. So I can also share with you energy workers out there, with every energies I meet, and I met so many. Some people feel they can't work with energy if they can't connect to themselves. So I had the question before about, I can't see my own life in the Akashic libraries. Why can't I do this? And I can't talk for everyone, but I think no one can do this. I can't do it. I think it's too much. I think we can't handle that. We need it from a third eye perspective, I think, maybe. And same goes with who we love. I talk to many people who I know, of course, who pass. Just the day before yesterday, one of my relatives passed, and I didn't know them too well, but they would come and just say goodbye to me. And that was so beautiful. And I said to them, I'm so sorry that we didn't spend more time together. And they said, oh, I always thought you were such a lovely girl anyway. And had this beautiful, we had this beautiful little moment, and then they went off to their other families. And with every energy I meet, my mom is never there. So I can see her talk to mediums and energy workers around me. I can see her talk to Bempers. I can see her talk to Bemper's mom, but for some reason she never connects with me, or there's something in that interaction. So that is a grief within me. But I'm just saying that things happen for a reason, and it is to protect us, and we're protecting ourselves in different ways. And I can see many reasons for why this would be. But just because we can't connect to ourselves does not mean we can't work with energy. I just wanted to get it out there. Poet, not sure how to write out how I feel after, so thank you for sharing that. That was brave and helpful. I want to be transparent, and also with the ugliness, and this is where my ego goes, saying that this could have been handled in another way. And then another story time I hopefully also can share. You know what I'm talking about, Luna. Those doors that we don't want to open because we want to be the perfect individual that we are, but in order to be that, we have to be who we are, right? We're just who we are. We can't be no one else. And that's me saying being a telepath. As another thing I found yesterday, I met a woman who works with putting up performances, so putting up, theatrical performances and singers, and putting up concerts, so to speak, and theatrical performances. And I just said, no, I'm leaving. I used to be on stage. I used to work with theater. Well, not work with, but I studied to become an actress, and I was off and on stage. No, not off and on. I was on stage and backstage for 14 years. So I really miss that. But what was so interesting? What was I trying to say with this? Yes, and so she said, "Oh, really? So you started to become an actress, and you did theater. What do you do now?" And I said, "Well, now I'm a healer and work with energy and telepathy." And she said, "Oh, would you say that is the opposite or the same? Is it related to it?" And I said, "Well, you're seeing someone else's life through another perspective. I think it's the same." And so we had a bit of a laugh. But it was funny. Yeah. It's been helpful for me too. So, Bembusler, we've got some administrative work to do before we can head off to the weekend. So I'm gonna thank you for this stream today. It's been a massive one, if I can put it like that. It's been a beautiful stream. I really enjoyed my time today. And Luna, get in touch with me and let me put up that trash can for you. I truly mean that. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here today. My head is about to explode, so I better do this declaration taxes thing. Your headache is gone! Oh! That makes me so happy. Beautiful. Your current job can be considered a theater where you are the principal character, the healer, and your clients are the secondary characters. I would call that life, Pegagrace. Don't we all play a part in our life? And we see it from our perspective, being the protagonist? No? God, I hate taxes. Yep, it's gonna be done though, right? So I will thank you for this beautiful stream. Life is a stage. Yeah, you know, the little study I did in psychology, we did read about that. Yeah, happy weekend. See you in Discord. Yeah. Take care, you guys. I probably will be bad at saying thank you for the stream because I probably just gonna head in with these taxes and declaration things. So I apologize now for not thanking for your stream. So I thank you now. And I hope to see you on Tuesday as we'll be back. Can we raid someone? Yeah, I think Kalina is online, right? We can raid Kalina. I would like that. So I'm gonna let the outro run and then I'm gonna raid Kalina. So do stick around. Okay? Hey! Yeah, I wanna do that. Okay. Take care. I'll see you on Tuesday. All the love to you and thank you for a lovely, lovely stream. Oh, she's doing energy readings. Okay. She is great. I was so thrilled finding her. For you, Peggy Christ, who introduced me to this community. Okay. Take care, you guys. And I will be raiding Kalina. Just stick around. Take care. Bye for now. All the love.